Well, hello, hello, hello. I'm in my bedroom on purpose because I wanted to show you this view out of my bedroom window. This is a view. Well, that's my sauna right there. Look at how it's like covered all the way down there in snow. We got a heck of a lot of snow last night. That's the whole backyard. I don't know what you can see, but there's a lot of snow. And some of you may know this about me, but when it's cold and snowy outside, one of the things that I love to do is I love to get into the kitchen and be creative and cook. It's one of the ways I tap into my creative side, cooking and writing. So here we are in the kitchen now. What I've got going here is a recipe. It's actually my recipe that I've made over the years of basic meatballs, as my granddaughter Bella calls them, meaty balls. So this is not for vegans. You might want to cut the camera off now. I'm sure you will, actually. So anyway, let's show you what I have, because I'm going to try and rock and roll here at a quicker rate. So let me put everything down, everything meaning the camera in my hands, and then I want to show you what I have in terms of ingredients really quickly, and then we'll throw them all together. And then we're going to saute them. I'm going to saute them. Some recipes call for putting meatballs in the oven, which is nice. I've done that before because it's less mess in terms of oil splatting from your pan. But I'm going to go ahead and just do them in the pan really quick. I don't know. I feel more connected to my food when I'm hands-on as opposed to mixing it up and throwing it in the oven and leaving it for a bit. But anyway, I'm going to make wild boar meatballs, okay? Not your typical beef meatballs, which are pretty traditional. I want to make wild boar because I want it to be a little bit different. I don't want to be a wild boar. I just want to be different. But anyway, so I have this wonderful package, actually this package of wonderful wild boar that I get from, what's the name of the company? Durham Ranch Wild Boar. And it's all the above, natural, free-range diet, no antibiotics, no hormones. It's gluten-free. But anyway, I get it at Clark's in Palm Desert, which is a great health food store, grocery store. So wild boar, so that's that ingredient. Let me put this aside, get it out of the way. And then, once again, I bought this at Clark's as well. Not my necklaces. Those are stories behind those things. Anyway, this is from Clark's. It's duck fat. It's Hudson Valley Frogwa duck fat. Okay, so I'm using duck fat today, not leftover pork fat from the bacon. They're both equally delicious. So I just wanted to use a different oil. And then, here's the wild boar. This is what it looks like out of the package. Okay, I took it out earlier and put on a little plate. And I also set it on the counter for a while because it was really cold when it came out of the fridge. I like to have them basically really room temperature if I can. So that's the package of wild boar that we're going to mix up. And then I have all my ingredients. I'll show you. There you go. This is a vegetables medley that's going to go inside the meatballs. It's a combination of, let's see, celery, onions, green bell pepper, garlic, which is the same ingredients that was in the vegetable spaghetti sauce yesterday, and some fresh parsley. And I already chopped it. See, look, see, got it all chopped up, ready to go, mise en place. All my ingredients are in place. And then I have one pasture-raised egg. I'm going to beat the egg into the meatball mixture. And then I have spices, organic cracked pepper, Himalayan sea salt for grinding, pink Himalayan sea salt for grinding. And then I have my Simply Organic, what are those, Italian seasoning. And then I have my little breadcrumbs. Let me show you these here. See this little bowl right here? It's in my hand. A little bowl of breadcrumbs. Can you see those little guys? And here's a scoop about these. These were made or prepared by me, I should say. You don't really have to make them. You prepare them. So they're little dry breadcrumbs that I cubed up in little pieces. See, let me show you like this here. Like this. See how they're all cubed? Little pieces. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Look at how small they are. And see, what did I do? Because you can make your own. And there are many ways to make it. For sake of the video, I prepared them in advance. But what I did is I kind of cheated, because usually when you make homemade breadcrumbs, you use a loaf of day-old bread, like a sourdough loaf or something, or a baguette. And you can literally let it get really stale on the counter and then use it dry, crumble it up and use it like that. Add spices to it if you want. Or you can make a breadcrumb mixture with day-old bread as well, and you can cut the pieces of the bread up and throw them in the bowl, kind of not like that, but then you mix them with maybe a little bit of olive oil and again some kind of favorite spices, and then you can toast them in the oven until they get really crunchy hard. But what I did is I took one of my favorite gluten-free breads, part of my treat. I don't eat bread all the time, but when I do, it has to be a really good one. This is by a company called Canyon Bakehouse. It's gluten-free. It's their deli rye, and I get this at Mother's Market in Costa Mesa or Irvine or El Toro. You can get it at any good health food store. But what I did is I took just 2 slices of this bread and I stuck it in my trusty little cheap toaster, because that's all I ever use it for, is to toast a piece of bread. I don't even do bagels. And then I toasted it until it was hard and crunchy. So I kind of over toasted it, and then I added it, I put it on my cutting board, and I just cut it into little long strips. I cut the bread piece, like pretend like this is a bread. I cut the bread in long strips, and then I turn it around and cut them the other way into little dices. So those are my ingredients. So let me just pull it all together right now. So angle the camera down, again. There you go. Here's my mixer bowl. So I'm going to plop this in there. Plop, plop. Hold on a second while I get that out of the way. And then I'm going to start adding all my mixtures. Okay, so just in case you're curious, these ingredients, that is about a 1/4 cup each of celery, onions, green bell pepper, and parsley. And then about 1 heaping tablespoon of just rough chopped fresh garlic. So those are going to get plopped in there like that. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, let me show you this. My oil is heating up, okay? So there's about a tablespoon of oil, duck fat in there. It's heating up. It's on low right now because I don't want it to start smoking. I'll turn it up in a little bit when I need it. So give me 1 second, get this out of the way. Okay. And then I'm going to throw in, so see, you just toss in the ingredients. How easy is that? And then I'm going to throw them in my breadcrumbs. Boom, voila. Put that out of the way. And then I'm going to take my little brown pasture-raised egg, cage-free pasture-raised, and I'm going to crack it in the middle. Try not to get any shells in there, and if I did, I would show you how to take those out. So maybe one day. And then I'll use my finger to get some of that egg white out. Put this in the compost over here, and then come back, start adding my spices, the dry spices, okay? So, once again, I'm going to use my hand here, and I'm going to put about, I don't know, maybe about a tablespoon of the mixed Italian organic herbs, dried herbs in my hand. And once again, what do? I rub my hands together like this and see them falling, sprinkling at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, maybe against the back counter. Okay, and why do I rub the hands together again? Why do I rub the hands together? Remember, I showed you this last time. I rub them together because I want to break the seal of the dried herbs. I want to release the flavor of the dried herbs, okay? And then I crack my pepper in here. This is being a little stubborn, but I'll get enough. I don't like a lot of pepper anyway. I'm not a big pepper hound. I know some people love pepper. I have a friend, and god dang, he just puts so much pepper on his food. Got black spots all over his teeth. Not really. But anyway, and then here's my Himalayan pink salt. So I'm going to crack some of that in there. And then, last but not least, I forgot to show you this. This is the ingredient this is a secret ingredient. The secret ingredient to these wild boar meatballs, because wild boar is pretty lean, doesn't have a lot of natural fat in it. So you want to, well, I like to add a little extra. So I could have added some olive oil inside, but I chose not to, although I have some. I chose to add this instead. Yeah, you got it. Hemp oil. No. It's by a company called Manitoba Harvest, and it's cold pressed, unrefined hemp seed oil. So let me show you what I'm going to do with that. And I'm adding the hemp seed because I wanted to do something different, something healthy and different. I'm going to just shake it up because I think there's might be some residue at the bottom of the jar. A quick shake like that. And then I'm just going to squeeze in, I don't know, can you see that? Squeezing it in there? Yeah, probably about the equivalent of a tablespoon. Okay, that's how easy this stuff is. Hemp oil you're going to keep refrigerated after you open it. So then now, here we go. I'm going to use los manos, my hands. Boo-hoo. You want to get in there. Don't be shy. They're clean, all right? And you just want to start mixing it like this. You want to mix it. You don't want to over mix it though, and like get it really, really over mixed, because if you over mix it, it has a tendency to dry out the consistency of the meat. But because I added all that extra oil, the hemp seed oil, which is not normally called for, it shouldn't get too dry. Now a piece of parsley tried to jump out. So see, you just kind of mix it up like this, really gently with tender loving care and tender loving hands, and see how nicely that's mixing up now. Okay, and then when I feel it's mixed up enough, I think I might add, no, I'll add salt later, no big deal. If I don't have enough salt, I can add some when I'm eating the meatballs. Okay, so that's pretty cool. That's not overly mixed. I mix that, I don't know, maybe for a minute or so. Okay, so once again, like the other day when I made the when I made the chunky vegetable spaghetti sauce, this is these are going to be chunky vegetable wild boar meatballs. So you got those vegetables in there, right? Actually, you don't got them. I got them. I have some nice veggies in there. Okay, so I'm going to start rolling them out here. Actually, I just noticed something. See, this is a cool thing about learning how to discover yourself in the kitchen. That felt a little, it feels a little too moist. So if I had some more breadcrumbs, I'd scream. No, I would put some in there. And I don't have any more breadcrumbs to kind of make it a little drier, but that's okay. They're still going to be delicious. I was thinking about even adding some, flax seeds in there, just in case. You know what? I'm going to kind of do that because I'll tell you what, you at home may not want to add some lovely organic flax seeds because maybe you don't like them or you might find them bitter. But I'm going to add a little bit, only because I feel like it's going to be, they're going to be a little kind of nuttier flavor and actually more health benefits. So watch what I do here. My hand's all gooey, so I'm going to use my arm to open the jar gently. And then I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit in. Actually, let me move the camera a little bit back so maybe you can see better. So I'm just going to sprinkle, I don't know, maybe about a tablespoon in here. Okay. Maybe a half a tablespoon. Nah, actually not even a tablespoon. That's probably about a teaspoon. Okay. And I'm doing that for 2 reasons, like I said. I mean, hell, who in the heck do you know that puts whole flax seeds in their meatballs? Probably nobody. I don't. First time I ever tried it myself, so we're both guinea pigs here. And then again, I'm going to mix them up just gently, just to get them evenly distributed there. And then I'm going to start making my balls, rolling them, okay? I'm going to start rolling them. So that looks about right. The pan looks, let me see here. The pan looks like it's ready for me anyway, or ready for some meatballs. So what do? I know you all have played with Play-Doh before. you just, oh my gosh. Now here's going to be the challenge. The challenge is this right now. The challenge, but not, because there's always an answer one way or another, is to wipe my fingers off of all that greasy stuff for now. And that's why I have a lot of extra paper towels on the side. And then I'm going to gently just angle the camera a little bit like so, because I want you to be able to see. Okay, so let me scoot it over here. And then I'm just going to start making little, you just make little, actually I'm going to make them smaller. I'm going to make them smaller, and the reason why is because I want them to cook fast since we have the camera going. All right, and I'm just going to set them down on my cutting board. Just little small little balls. And I'm not going to make the whole bowl right now because it'll take me way too long to cook them all while you all are waiting, going like this on your kitchen counter or at your desktop, wherever you are, on your laptop. So I'm just going to make enough to fit into the pan for now, and then I'll cook the rest up later. And what I could do actually is I could take whatever's left over of this big mixture bowl right here, any leftovers, and I could actually freeze them and then throw them out later and re-roll them, or roll them out and just make a whole different meal. Or I can roll them all, cook them, and then freeze them, and then just reheat them. So see, no excuses not to make healthy alternative meals for your day, even if you're working full time. And the key is to try to keep them about the same size so they all cook pretty evenly. So maybe we'll just start with 6, okay? 6, 6, 6, 6. Ooh, where'd that come from? That was an old program number from somewhere. All right, so we're going to start with 6, maybe even 8. We'll see. We'll see how many I think will fit in the pan. All right, so I have 1, 2. Okay, there's 5 right there. All right, well, I will start with 6 only because I just realized I don't want them to crowd in the pan. This one looks a little bit bigger, so I'm going to take a little bit off and re-roll it. And so here's what I wanted to talk about while I'm rolling these and getting them ready for cooking is these are not your typical meatballs. If you want typical meatballs, go find a typical meatball recipe and cook and see what they have to share. Because I don't feel like I'm a typical woman. I really don't. And maybe that's why I do weird shit like this. Make these videos from my home kitchen where sometimes a lot of goofy stuff is going on in here. But anyway, okay, so let's see, 2, 4, 6. All right, well, there you go. That's 7. All right, so now I'm going to use my towel again to wipe my hands because they're all greasy, as you can imagine. And then I'm going to angle the camera. I'm going to move this out of the way for here for now. Bring this over here. And I'm going to angle the camera this way so you can watch as I put these cute little meatballs in the pan. All right, so right about here. All right, so this is nice and hot, this oil, and it's probably gonna splat a little bit. So what I'm gonna do, here are my meatballs. They're just kind of sitting, hanging out, being really patient. Kind of like I need to be right now. And then I'm just gonna gently, once again, place them away from me. Yeah, there you go. That. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and last but not least, 7. All right, so I got the 7 little meatballs there cooking. Now here's the thing, I just realized something that I want to share with you as I turn the camera up, but let me show you these anyway. Okay, so these are going to be hanging out here for a little while, frying up, and then I'll flip them around, and then when I flip them around, I'll show you. But what I wanted to say is, as I angle the camera up here, because I'm going to roll some more out while we're chatting. See, while I'm chatting with you, I'm going to roll a few more out, and hold on 1 second. I need to get a couple more paper towels because I want to be prepared. And I thought I was more prepared before the camera. I started videoing this, but recording it, I should say. Those smell really good already. So while I roll out a few more while those cook, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Watch out here. Let me angle this again. I'm gonna get all kinds of schmutz on my camera because here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come down here for a second and I'm gonna grab my trusty little lid. Not the metal lid, I do have one that matches, but I'm gonna put this one on so that way it could release any steam that really starts to build up. And why did I do that? I did that because I want them to cook faster because y'all are watching. And I'm really working on trying to keep these videos 30 minutes or less. But I'll tell you what, it's really hard because I'm not just showing you how to cook something the way I would cook it at home. And this is, you're in my freaking house right now. I'm also teaching a little bit about health and wellness and holistic food practices and the way I see them and have experienced them. So that's why they take longer. You're just watching, what's her name, Ina Gardner, or Giada, little Italian gal with the big bobbly head. She's really sweet looking. She's not a big head, but probably have a small head. But anyway, what was I going to say? Okay, so I was going to share some tips with you. I showed you the ingredients. Okay, the cooking oil. You can use your favorite oil. I switch up. I either use clarified butter, aka ghee, G-H-E-E, or I use avocado oil, or duck fat, coconut oil, ghee, duck fat, pork fat, or lard, like from leftover bacon, avocado oil. So I use about 5 different oils. It's very rare, but periodically, rarely I will use olive oil like I did in the sauce yesterday. And if I use olive oil to cook with and to fry with, well, not really fry, but to cook and saute, I keep it on a low heat, okay? For some reason, I don't like to have olive oil at a high heat. So I'm just rolling right here as I'm sharing with you. Okay, so that's the oil. The breadcrumbs. You don't have to do your own breadcrumbs at home. You can buy organic breadcrumbs at the health food store. So if you don't have time, you don't want to, if you feel it's a hassle, you don't have time to make your own breadcrumbs, which I think is kind of fun, because you can do whatever you want with them, then just go to the store and buy breadcrumbs already made. They have them more chunkier, like in, little pieces, teeny tiny pieces of bread, as in the breadcrumb, or you can get like crumbs. I prefer more of the bread because I feel it adds a little more consistency to stuff like this, like these little meatballs that I'm making. Let me show you this one. See? Meaty balls. Wild boar meatballs with some nice little vegetables in them. Okay, so I discussed the oil, talked to you about the breadcrumbs. I said if you don't want to toast them in a toaster and then just crunch them up, then you can stick them in on a cookie sheet or a stainless steel, I don't know, cake pan or something, and you can just cook them in there, roast them until they're hard and crunchy with a little bit of olive oil and some spices. So that would be a breadcrumb. What else? Okay, talked about the fat, talked about the oil. Why did I decide to use the hemp protein other than I wanted a healthy oil inside these meatballs? Because wild boar is a little leaner and it can get drier. So that's why I added the hemp oil. I decided to use hemp oil because I have a whole bunch of it right now. And secondly, it is in itself a beautiful, healthy fat. It also has wonderful plant protein and minerals in it. So those are the health benefits. Actually, the health benefits are digestion. It helps with digestion. Ladies, sisters, it helps with PMS symptoms. So if you're having problems with PMS, all you have to do is take some hemp oil and use it like in a salad dressing, stick some in your smoothies. Oops, I just dropped an onion there. And I bet that would really help. I haven't done it. I don't even get periods anymore. Woo! Actually, I stopped getting them in my late 50s. I was 56 years old when I stopped having my blood moon cycle, which I think is pretty cool, because to me that just means that's a pretty healthy woman that has those major shifts in her body to the age of 56. And if I could, I'd still have them, because I think it's very healthy. So how do we get on the subject of PMS and moon cycles when I'm cooking? Because I was talking about the benefits of hemp oil. It helps the symptoms of PMS, reduces symptoms of PMS, okay? So it's good, ladies, sisters. Okay, so there's another 8. Now, before I continue, I'm going to wipe my hands real quick again because they're really greasy. And then I'm going to show you, we'll flip over the, or turn the, what are they called? Meaty balls, right? Oh, and the last thing about the hemp oil I wanted to say is it's also very beneficial for heart health. So if you want a nice, stronger heart, fall in love with yourself and have some hemp oil. Okay, so here we go. Angle this down again. Come on, camera. Right about there. Okay, it's going to splat a little bit because there's some steam built up even a little bit. Oh, that's not so bad. Oh, yeah. First of all, they smell amazing, carnivores. But look at that. They're pretty too. They look like veal balls. So I'm going to take them, try to angle this, and then I'm going to gently with my trusty tongs, I'm going to turn them up a little bit. First of all, because they were really on low. I didn't realize they were on low. Now they're kind of like low medium. So they can cook a little quicker, okay? Yeah, so right about there, low, medium, low. And then I'm going to flip them over gently. Oh my gosh, they look beautiful. And there's gorgeous, the combination of the duck fat and a little bit of the fat that's in the wild boar has this room smelling pretty phenomenally delicious. How's that? How does a room smell phenomenally delicious, Patricia? Well, it does in this case. That's it. I bet if you walked into my house right now, I'm getting all splatted on, you would know what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me show you something really quickly here. Can you see those now? Aren't those gorgeous? Look at, you can see some of the toasty little hemp seeds on it, or the flax seeds, little teeny tiny flax seeds. They're nice and crunchy on top. So here's the thing. Oops, as I almost dropped my phone. Actually, hang out and watch those for a second. I'm going to grab some. I'm going to turn these down a little bit, and I have to grab something. I'm going to grab this lid again because I want to use it for my next batch of meatballs. All right. So what else was I going to talk about besides all the lovely benefits of the hemp oil? I was going to say that while those continue to cook, I personally prefer my meat, believe it or not, rare. I really do. And when I go to a restaurant, if I'm going to order if I'm going to order grass-fed meat, I tell them to ask and request nicely that they please walk it past the stove, which means I like it bloody, because I try to eat it, my food as close to raw, even my meat, as possible. Okay. That said, I'm going to show you how to test these and see if they're near doneness. So let me angle the camera back here. So you just come and you touch them. Those are feeling a little firm. If they were springy, that would mean that they were already pretty much done. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take them out and I'm going to place them on one plate. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do something I didn't think I was going to do. First, I'm going to take these out because they will keep cooking, okay? These delicious, yummy looking meaty balls will keep cooking. So, there. Beautiful, huh? Nice and crunchy. Lovely little balls. Okay? So let me put them aside. And then I'm going to put my, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the rest of the balls that are patiently waiting to be added to this pan after I scoot this out of the way and angle my camera because it's all discombobulated. Let me try this. There we go. Okay, it's probably going to get grease splattered on it. I'll move it a little bit. So these are going to keep cooking in here while my second batch. While I share with you how I'm going to throw these meatballs together. And you want to make sure the oil is evenly distributed. Ah, how hot. And you don't want to put them really close together because then it's harder to flip them and they get like mushy. If you get them too close together, you want to have them about a ½ inch apart. Okay, so those are going to continue to cook. I'll scoot this out of the way up here. While these are cooking, as I put my trusty little lid back on them, I'm going to do something I didn't think I was going to do, but I'm going to do it now. And like I said, this is the benefit of doing your own thing in the kitchen. You can do whatever you want. So I'm going to take my leftover, yes, remember this sauce I made? The chunky vegetable spaghetti sauce? Well, I think it was it last night? Maybe. I'm going to take it and I'm going to mix it with my meatballs and I'm going to have my lunch. Actually, it's really my brunch because I haven't even had breakfast yet. So, and I will say that if I didn't have to cook or choose to cook right now the rest of these meatballs right here, then I would have been using that pan because it has such beautiful flavor in it. But because I'm continuing to cook and I want to get on with the video, I'm just going to use this saucepan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw these delicious meatballs in here. They're still nice and hot. See that? See those delicious little meatballs, nice and hot? And then I'm going to take my sauce and I'm going to add it. I'm just going to heat it really quickly because there it is. Yeah, look at that. It's actually nicer today because it's been sitting overnight. So the flavors have marinated and gotten more intense. So I'm just going to add, see, I don't want all those. No, that's fine. I'm going to add one. I think I need to angle this a little bit more, y'all. Right about there. 2, 3 big spoonfuls of that sauce in there. And then I want you to see it. See? So now what's happening, the meatballs are already hot. Okay? I'm just doing a quick warm over. Matter of fact, I'm even going to turn the heat off. And the reason why is because my sauce has been sitting out on the counter. It's actually room temperature, so I'm not concerned about drinking or eating cold spaghetti sauce. So, all right, so let me just do a little mix here, kind of like this. Yeah, this is a challenging part, see, because I have my hand on the camera, and then I have my hand trying to stir, and I'm kind of being challenged at trying to do both. But there's just a nice little stir, okay? Meatballs and homemade spaghetti sauce. So, let me go grab my leftover pasta, because see, this is my leftover today. All right, there. And this I already reheated. This is my the leftover gluten-free spaghetti. Pamela's gluten-free spaghetti. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to show you right here. I'm just going to take my hands. What the heck? I reheated it. There's a little bit of olive oil, so nothing's sticking. And I'm going to add a little bit right there on the center, into the center. And then I'm going to rinse my hands real quick. And then I'm going to add the spaghetti sauce with the homemade meatballs. All right. Oh boy. 3 right there. Oh my word. And then a little more sauce, because I like my my sauce, my spaghetti nice and moist. All right. So, here it is. Homemade. You saw how quickly that was. Once you have your ingredients prepped, the vegetables, you just mix everything up in a bowl, roll the little balls, fry them up in some healthy, delicious oil, and voila. There it is, right there. And it smells delicious. So, what's gonna happen? You know it. I gotta taste it. But before I taste it, I'm gonna come back here and let's flip these over real quick. And we'll get ready to say goodbye. Adios. This can just sit there on the side. Ah, yeah. Okay, so that has splattered, and the reason why is because there was a little bit of oil or water in that lid. So just flip them over gently. Oh, I know what I was going to say. If you don't like your meat, on the rare side, then these are probably medium rare. I'm going to turn off the heat. Because look, they're a little bit overcooked. But you know what? They're still going to be freaking delicious. I know. I really feel it in my heart. And when my heart speaks, I'm learning to listen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take them out of the pan because I don't want them to cook anymore in that hot oil. Because then they'll be dry. So I'm using that same leftover plate. Once again, they will continue to cook on the plate. Oops, lots of oil there that I just dropped all over the place. And what am I going to do? I'm going to actually save the oil there. There you go. There's my second batch. I'm going to save this beautiful leftover oil. So when I'm ready to finish cooking these, which is after I make the video, then I'll cook them in that same oil. So what do? We come over here to my kitchen counter. And me, myself, and I, the Holy Trinity. And I angle the camera and turn it around to the best of my ability. There it is. Homemade spaghetti sauce, homemade wild boar meatballs. Bonnie, eat your heart out, sister. Don't eat your heart out, eat some of these. And if you're vegetarian or vegan, don't eat some of these. All right, so anyway, here, let me just scoop it up here, the camera. I'm just gonna take my knife and fork. And maybe I will, I want you to see. And then I'm just gonna cut a piece. Okay, I'll start right here. First I wanna taste this, all by itself. The meatball with a little bit of sauce. Thank you, animal spirits. Thank you, animal spirits. Oh. I'm going to add just a smidge of salt. But you know what? I was just wondering if I say, damn, that's good. Hell yeah, that's good. Would you think I'm crazy? If so, that's okay. It really doesn't matter. But you know what? Damn, that's good. So I'm just taking a little bit more here like this, twirling it around on my spoon so I get a bite-sized portion, nothing too big for this small mouth of mine. I'm going to take one last taste and say goodbye. Okay. So, thank you for waiting. I just wanted to say, before I made this video, I wrote a couple notes because sometimes I just get so passionate about what I'm doing. I'm so into the zone, I forget to say or to share certain things. So what I want to talk about was the wild boar is extremely high in protein, vitamin B6, and iron. So again, sisters, if you're suffering from PMS and anemia, iron deficiency, wild boar with this beautiful hemp oil mixture, meatballs, is really good for you. And then what else did I want to remember? Cheese. I didn't put any cheese on top. If I had some premium imported Italian Reggiano Parmigiano cheese, I would sprinkle some on, but I don't have any. And if you're vegan, you won't be eating this anyway. All right, so thank you so much for showing up. If you like this video, please feel free to share it with others. All right, spread the love. Love to you. Namaste.